There is a shift happening in the UK that is somewhat worse than even George Orwell envisioned. Right now in the UK, we are in the throes of communists seated to chew up and spit out democracy. They are trying as hard as they can to shut down the legal democratic march, while not even mentioning the opposing anti-Semitic march, which is taking place on the very same day.
Tomorrow's march in London is a reminder of what we're up against in the battle of our values. The organisers, including convicted thugs and racists, are peddling hatred and division. Plain and simple. Their goal is to convince people that Britain's problems are caused by those living alongside them. But that is not the Britain that I know. This is a country built on decency, fairness and respect. A country that is at its best when people from different backgrounds come together in common purpose. This is our country, with a majority who share those values, a majority who may not always be as loud, but must always define who we are. So, my government will not stand in the way of peaceful protest, but we will act decisively against hatred. We will use the full force of the law when that hatred manifests as violence. And we will ban those coming into the UK who seek to stir it up, as we have done already. Because this country belongs to all of us, and I will not tolerate anyone who seeks to stand in the way of that.
Proving that the anti-Semitic rhetoric they are being putting out following the attack on Jewish people were just more empty words, and they don't really care about the Jewish people at all. But they are very scared of the British people, very afraid indeed. If they keep ignoring our voice, then very soon we will stop talking and start acting. But let's face it, that's what they want at this point. They will have fled the country to protect their communist asses before we even make it to the streets. We do not live in the same world we did just 10 years ago, and here in the UK, Keir Starmer was installed with a single mandate: eradication and control. Keir Starmer and his Labour Party have had the Home Office issue emails to 11 foreign, law-abiding citizens and issue denial of entry to the United Kingdom. Individuals like Eva Verdingerbroek, she is a Dutch immigration activist. Then there's Dominik Tuszynski, a Polish MEP, who actually travels on a diplomatic passport. Don Keith, a UK podcaster, and Ezra Levant, a Canadian journalist. You may know him from Rebel Media. Now, these are just a few. There are more. They were issued with this email stating, "Dear," put whatever the 11 names you want in there, "your UK ETA has been cancelled from the 12th of May 2026. This means you cannot travel to the UK without a visa. This is because your presence in the UK is not considered to be conducive with the public good." You cannot appeal this decision. I mean, come on.
You have banned journalists, you rent boy shagging wanker, yeah? Journalists. Politically elected politicians from 4 European countries you've banned. Some of them have got 30% of the vote in Germany. So a third of Germans, you're saying, you'd ban from this country for having a different opinion to you. You've banned everyone. And still we're going to succeed, Keir. Still we're going to succeed. You've exposed yourself as the tyrant once again on the world stage. Your lies are free speech. To you, hate speech is anything you don't agree with. Well, unfortunately for you, people are going to descend on our capital city from every corner of Great Britain. You won't win. You won't succeed, because tomorrow, millions, tens of millions, are going to watch our live stream of a beautiful patriotic rally. The total opposite of what you're telling people it is. So, it's another nail in your coffin, Keir, not ours. Unite against this wrong and tomorrow, people. Join us. Come out and join your country's men and women. Enough is enough. Stand with us against them. At least let them know that this country is against them. We're fed up. We're sick to death of it. The betrayal, the rapes, the replacement, the immigration, everything. We've had enough. And we're uniting in our capital city. Our capital city. Not yours, Keir. The people's capital city.
You let rapists and murderers into this country and we don't even know who the fucking hell they are. And that is the reason we are having this march. But you can block people that we know who they are. We know they are not dangerous. Yet, the dangerous people who we have no idea, absolutely fine. So, what did these 11 people do wrong? Well, nothing. They were just due to attend the United Kingdom march. that is to be held in London on the 16th of May 2026, tomorrow, where the British people are set to gather and send a message of discontentment to this government, which is a legal right and has been legally organised by Tommy Robinson. You see, in a democracy, each and every person has the full legal right, and dare I say, their duty to protest. But Keir Starmer and his government, they do not like this very legal and democratic right, as these are just simply against his actions and his ideologies. Keir Starmer is running this country on partisan politics, which, as far as I'm aware, is illegal. If you do not agree with his ideology, his views, his plans, and then you are the enemy of the country and the state. This view right here is in direct conflict with democracy itself, and is 100% communist. Right now, I bet the mentally ill fake liberals are screaming at me.
This is not communism. Communism is what we are fighting for, and this is not it.
Firstly, you intelligently bankrupt, unwashed morons. You do not know what communism is. You still don't understand what fascism is. What do you call it when you weaponize the law and mechanisms of government against opposing views and arrest and imprison those who do not agree with you? Then ban entry to every opposition and label everyone who doesn't think like you as far right and the enemy. It sounds like communism to me. I'm going to be honest, it does sound like communism. If it looks like a duck, it sounds like a duck, it swims like a duck, then yeah, it's communism. Now this is 100% communism. And look, let's check the stages. Ridicule, silence, imprisonment, then execution. Can you guess which stage we're at? Do you remember when Keir Starmer stood up and shouted that if you were against British renewal, then you were the enemy? We will fight you with everything we have.
If you say they should now be deported, then mark my words, we will fight you with everything we have, because you are the enemy of national renewal.
They were not empty words, they were promises. Did anyone ever question what British renewal really was? Swap out the word renewal with replacement. British replacement. That is what he is fighting for. That is his vision of the future, which is what we see in every corner of the British Isles, barring the wealthy places for now. I want to take this moment, I want to highlight something important. England, Scotland, Wales, Ireland make up the government coalition of the United Kingdom. But as an Englishman, I could never ever be, let's say, Scottish, Welsh or Irish, even if I moved and lived there. Because being English, Scottish, Welsh or Irish is not about the geographical location. Now, I am English, although I share many values and traditions with my unionised brothers and sisters. I am not them. You see, when it comes to countries, as an example, I'm English, not because of the land I live on, but because of the people, the heritage, the values, the beliefs, the history of my people. If all the English people swap territories with all the Scottish people, so we each swap geographical locations, am I now English or Scottish? Well, the answer is I'm English. So let's go deeper. Do I now live in England or Scotland? Now, the land I now inhabit, Scotland, has now become England, as the English are the majority, and in this scenario, the only peoples that inhabit this land. As for England, we left, it is now filled with the Scottish, so it is now Scotland. Land does not give you your nationality. It is the people, the heritage, the history. More importantly, the shared bond. There is a lot of rhetoric about nationalism, but every country has a sense of nationalism because nationalism is pride. How can you have pride in your country if you do not have any sense of nationalism? Look at it right this way. We have people in this country who are committing atrocities because they are fighting for their homeland. The same homeland that if I was to travel there, I wouldn't have rights as they do. I would not be able to enroll in their political structure. I would not be a fully paid up member of their land because they are nationalistic. Now, firstly, there's nothing wrong with taking pride in your people. And two, like I explained, we are not bound by land, but we are family. Every nation is family. If I invite you to come to my home for tea, it does not mean you are family. It does not mean you own my home. It does not mean you can come into my home anytime you like. So what is National British Renewal? In the scenario I just given, the England and Scotland land swap was a mutual trade where both still exist. What happens when it's not an agreed mutual exchange? Then at that point, we have British replacement, or what it's coined as is British renewal. It's really, really simple, guys. Not that long ago, this would have been called war or an invasion. But today it's been allocated yet another soft word like British renewal. And in this case, the English are outbred, oppressed, chased, villainised until we leave or we die. Then now there is no England. In fact, the geographical location that used to be England is probably still called England, but is now the Middle East. You can put your preferred country name wherever you want there. I'm just going to say the Middle East. So after all this is done, where is England? Well, it is all but eradicated. What remains of England ends up scattered and homeless in various pockets of the world. If you were to take only one thing from this video, it is that we are not merely a country. We are a family, and like most families, we don't always get along, but we are always there for each other. And the land we inhabit, that is our family home. And as a family, we must choose when to extend an invite and when to close the door to those who wish our family harm and destroy our home. So in closing, from the middle child of the English family, we are open to making friends with other families. But if you hurt any of my family members or attack my home, then we become very protective, and I have a huge family.